Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Gladys Aguay, and welcome to another rose-colored lesson. And this is rose-colored lesson number 16. Today's lesson is going to be about what do you do when you are sitting in the dark. Brian Tracy talked about the 3 keys to high achievement, success, and happiness is clarity, and you got it, clarity. Clarity about your goals, clarity about what it is that you want. Your success in life largely is determined by how clear you are about that. So discovering what are your innate strengths, developing and exploiting them to their fullest advantage so that you can have the greatest amount of satisfaction and enjoyment in your life, in your business, and in your career. And we know, and we have talked about how change is constant. And with change, you're going to have willing and unwilling transitions in your life that will result in rejection that's going to put you in this place of darkness. Now, how long you stay in that place of darkness depends on you and how you perceive and act and behave and react to that transition, that rejection that has come into your life. Aristotle Onassis talked about how it is in our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. It is in our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. And so we know that with this current health and economic crisis, that we are all in this dark place, have been in this dark place. Some are rising up out of it. Some of us are still focused in it. And so when we are sitting in the dark, and you notice when the lights go out all of a sudden, or the power goes out, you kind of have to adjust. And then your eyes start working to try to focus and get focused on, okay, where am I? What's around me? What do I do now? How long am I going to be in this situation? What's going on? Why am I sitting here in the dark? And so you have to get laser focused on making sure that you can see. And what happens is we kind of tumble and fumble around while we're in that dark place when that power goes out. All of this, we were fumbling and tumbling sometimes as we were in the dark trying to figure out and find our way and to get our footing. There were situations, like I said, change is constant, that's going to put us in a place of transition, rejection, and darkness. And again, is how do you handle it? What do you do when you are sitting in the dark? Because most times when we get into that dark place, we fumble and tumble and get laser focused, but we then learn how to start navigating in that darkness, getting our footing in that darkness. We will always find ourselves in a place of darkness. But again, is what do we do when we are sitting in that place of darkness? What do we do? And so I want you to consider 3 things that you can do when sitting in the dark so that you can begin to see the light. You have to understand, what are your fears? What are you uncertain about as you are now in this new space of darkness? Number one, you got to admit that you have some fears now. Because sometimes we don't even want to admit that we're scared. Because somebody will ask, well, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's okay. It's all right. And inside you are churning inside. So you have to understand, what are your fears? What am I afraid of now that I am sitting here in this dark place? What am I afraid of? Why am I fearing this? How is this fear making me feel? I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm sad. How is it making you feel? And when you are in that place of fear, I want you, because fear is because you're uncertain about things. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. You don't know when you're going to be able to come out of all of this, to come out. You don't know when you're going to be able to see the light. You might see the light all the way at the end of the tunnel, as you all have heard, but you don't know how far is that really to the light. How am I going to get to the light? You don't know. So there's this uncertainty that's surrounding this place of being in darkness. But I want you to also, in that place that you are sitting in, there is space of certainty. So what can you be certain about when you have been put in this place of sitting in the dark? Understanding and the fear that's associated with that and why you're feeling that way, and finding that place of certainty within that fear. That certainty that, you know what, I have breath. It can be simple. I talk about taking it, even if you had to take the size of a mustard seed, of finding that certainty. I have breath today. I have life today. And with life, there's another opportunity. With life, I still have time to think through how I can come up out of this. What else can you think of that you can be certain about? I know that God loves me. I know that God has brought me out of other situations of darkness, and I will be expectant that He will do the same for me. So understanding your fears and uncertainty is number one. And number two, whenever you get positioned in this place of darkness and it's like wham, it's just kind of just come down on you, you have to understand, well, where do I stand today? If the lights go out from you and you are just sitting in this middle place, you got to say, well, okay, now where am I? Where am I at? So I know where's the kitchen, where's the doorway, where's an entranceway, where's the table, so I don't stumble over. Where am I right now? So understanding, where do you stand today in 7 key life areas that is all important and essential to each and every one of us. It's understanding, where do you stand when you are sitting in that place of darkness? Where do I stand? And with my health, with my financials, with my relationships with family and friends or significant other, love in your life, passions, your purpose, and then your spiritual, where you are spiritually. And I don't think of it from a religious perspective, from a spiritual perspective, and whatever is your belief system. So understanding that and reflecting on it, there are things that you can do, reflections that you can do when you are in that dark space. You don't have to just wallow in it. No, you don't. It's a choice. It is a choice. So number one, understanding your fears and what you're uncertain about, and then finding something that you can be certain about, even if it's the size of the mustard seed. Yes? Understanding, where do you stand right now, and reflecting on that. Right now, where do I stand? So you can start getting your power back. Because see, when the power goes out and you're sitting in darkness and you're going into all that uncertainty, you feel powerless. And what you want to do when you find yourself sitting in the dark is to get your power back. So you can't wallow. If you're wallowing in it, then that's a powerless position. That's a victim position. I'm being a victim because I'm in a circumstance that was outside of my control. But what do we know, and who do we know that we can control? Ourselves. And the third thing that you can do when you are sitting in the dark, it has just swooped down on top of you. What can you do? Do you know what it is that you want? When you come up out of the dark, What is it that you want when you journey through the darkness and come into the light? Because I say that we are in it for a reason. We are in it to grow and to learn and get to know more about ourselves. But it's up to you to take the time to then figure that out. Trust me, there's going to be something else. Because again, what? Change is constant. It just is. And with that will come a transition, a willing one or an unwilling one, which will mean that there's rejection. Rejection puts you in a dark place if you don't see that as an opportunity. If you don't see that rejection as an opportunity, if you don't see that darkness as an opportunity. So understand, what is the opportunity? Who do you want to be? It's a great time now to understand, well, what am I good at? How do I want to use them? Who do I want to impact? What are my values in this time of darkness that I'm sitting in today? That I want to ensure that when I come out of this, my values continue to be aligned to whatever that is going to be. And what is your mindset around making sure that when you say, I want to be this, coming out, but what's your mindset around coming out of this and accomplishing that? And even saying, how can I start, even if it's the size of the mustard seed, begin to start doing some things while I'm sitting in the dark to help bringing myself up and out. So those three things, understanding your fears and uncertainties and finding some certainty within that. Understanding where do you stand right now, sitting in this place in the darkness, sitting in with no light, sitting in there and understanding, well, where do I stand today in these 7 key life areas that I mentioned? And understanding, what do I want as I transition out of darkness and into the light? And I say to each and every one of you, your wings are ready. But you have to do the work to start assessing and aligning to what it is and understanding what it is that you say that you want. So even when you are in the dark, just know that you are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions. You're not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions. You decide whether or not that dark space is going to be you as a victim, or that dark space is going to be an opportunity for you to get to know yourself better, to align yourself with what it is that you want to be when you come out of that dark space. And I want to encourage you to make a decision and a choice about how you're going to view your place when you are sitting in darkness, and then work like hell to make sure that you make the right decision. I want you to think differently, and even in the dark, you can still be of value, because guess what? You're not in the dark by yourself. What value can you bring when you're in that space, even though you are in that space? And I would encourage you to be present in your moment of darkness. Don't run away from that darkness towards something that you don't even know, towards a direction that you shouldn't be in. Be present in that place of darkness to learn and understand yourself, to grow, and then to be transformed. But you have to be in that place of darkness, that place that you don't like, in order to get the lessons and the learning and the growth that you need to be able to come out into this transformed being. So again, this lesson, number 16, rose-colored lesson. What do you do when you are sitting in the dark? So I am hoping that you all not only listened to what I was saying, but that there's some things that you learned that you can apply, and that you also will go out and lead with. And again, it's as long as you are listening, learning, and then going out and leading and applying what you have learned. That's how you truly invest your time and optimize your time. So until next time, know that I love each and every one of you, and I so appreciate you joining and supporting me. Everybody, bye-bye. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Make it a great week.